say about American beer? Do you know what they say about American beer in Australia?
American beer in Australia?
You know that Australian saying? You know what they say about American beer? They say American beer is like making love in a canoe. It's fucking close to water. Anyway.
Isn't this... Didn't you like an American beer at one time? I don't know.
I like any beer at one time. What difference does it make? I grew up in America. That's all I had was American beer.
Well, I guess this was before IPAs became really popular. I don't know when that happened because I'm not a beer drinker.
Yeah, IPAs
at some
weren't a
point,
thing.
everyone was like, yeah,
okay,
try this.
Beer in America.
50 different IPAs. You need to try this one. It's delicious.
A lot of laws had to be passed for IPAs to even, for local breweries to even be legal. Big breweries were controlling the market for so long. It's only fairly recently that these small breweries have taken off, and the best thing about smaller ones is they don't have to ship through interstate channels. Not have to be limited, right? They're not. The federal government has. So that's why the microbrewers. Short history of beer.
The short history of beer.
Right, but when I was a kid, every beer was an American beer. There was no imported beers. Zero. There was.
I mean, I've learned a little short history of beer, but it was about UK beer, and it was about this idea that the breweries kind of owned the recipe of beer, so they're the ones. This is the UK. I don't know anything. This is the UK. This is a different recipe. You weren't alive, so in the UK, so I don't know why you're acting like you know the history of it.
What year was this? Right?
Oh, freaking 1800s, dude. Like, the reason why pubs exist is because they would use pubs to deliver their recipe of the thing. And it wasn't nationalized, it wasn't regulated, nothing, right? So, that's why there's so many different beer brands in the UK, because they're all like, I have this special beer that is only grown here in this pub. And,
that kind of goes everywhere.
I'm paraphrasing it. I'm not making a video essay, right? This is what I remember from the video I watched. That's all.
Okay, well, I forgot what I was going to say about it. But anyway, let's do the wheel.
I didn't know you had anything else to say. We're just talking about beer.
Not really. I'm just going to waste more time. That's about it.
It's not a waste of time if we're talking. Sarcasm. This is a podcast after all.
Ooh, sarcasm! Again.
Our first story is going to be a little update from the Lithuania story I had on, I think it was Wednesday. I'm pretty sure I talked about it on Wednesday because it's about balloons shutting down an airport, which sounds like a wacky story. Well, guess what? There's more balloon sightings coming from Belarus, and Lithuania is deciding, you know what? It's time to maybe close the border. They're getting very paranoid that they think this is some sort of, not saying it isn't or is, right? But from their national security point of view, Belarus is trying to do some sort of something. Disrupting their communications mostly, I think. Their flights and stuff. Shutting down airports all the time because it's very dangerous to have balloons go into a fuselage. And they see it as some sort of warfare against Lithuania. This is from Vilnius, Lithuania, on AP News. Lithuania's Prime Minister said today, on the 27th of October, that our country has drawn up plans to shut its borders crossings with Belarus indefinitely after flights at the capital's airport were disrupted repeatedly by suspected sightings of balloons used to smuggle cigarettes across the frontier. Lithuania's National Security Commission met after balloon sightings prompted the suspension of air traffic at Vilnius airport on 3 successive evenings. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So all this weekend they've been dealing with, sorry guys, airport's delayed again because they keep on putting these damn cigarette balloons. And they can't, if it was something no more nefarious, right? You can maybe say, hey, they're starting a war with us. But if it's just like cigarettes and balloons, it's just smugglers. But they're arguing that Belarus is paying the smugglers to be disruptive, right? I think they're arguing that this is a government-mandated disruption. which is why they're blaming Belarus, the country, and not the smugglers, who are probably just individuals smuggling cigarettes. It's caused cancellations, diversions, and delays. On Friday, the 24th of October, the airport at Kaunas, which is farther from the Belarusian border, was also affected. So 2 airports. The incident followed similar disruptions earlier on Wednesday when we originally covered the story, and on other recent occasions. It happened earlier, I think in September. There was also balloons crossing the border. Lithuania's 2 border crossings with Belarus, Medininkai and Salsinikai, were both closed for several hours as a result of each of the balloon incidents. The country's border guard service decided overnight yesterday, the 26th of October, to close the border for 24 hours, the BNS news agency reported. Prime Minister Inga Ruganine said that the restrictions will be extended until Wednesday, so basically a week since one of the first incidents started happening, when our cabinet is expected to decide whether to prolong the closure indefinitely, BNS reported. Ruganine said today on the 27th that the government has already drawn up a draft decision to shut the border indefinitely, with exemptions for diplomats and diplomatic mail. Lithuanian and other European Union citizens also would still be allowed to enter from Belarus. Lithuania, the EU and NATO as an EU and NATO member, is located on the Western Alliance's eastern flank. It borders Russia's Kaliningrad exclave as well as Russia's allied Belarus. Belarus Foreign Minister Maxim Reznikov denounced the move to shut the border down as a provocation. No, the provocation was you not stopping people from sending balloons over the border and shutting down airports. That's the provocation. Why aren't you doing something about this if you don't want the borders to be shut down? And suggested that Lithuanian authorities should focus their attention on organized gangs of Lithuanians who are smuggling for profit. The balloons are coming from your country, dude. Why is Lithuania responsible? These balloons with smuggled cigarettes have been flying there for ages, Reznikov said in a statement, but most interestingly, we haven't received any diplomatic notes. Reznikov said he discussed the issue with President Alexander Lukashenko, dictator Alexander Lukashenko, who described the border closure as a sheer stupidity. How are we supposed to invade you easily now? Belarusian opposition leader Svetlana Tsikhanouskaya, who lives in exile in Lithuania, said in her written comments to the Associated Press that the balloon incidents were yet another sign that the regime is using cigarette smuggling as a tool of hybrid aggression against Europe. The closure of the border crossing is a logical step to protect security, she said. We support Lithuania and its partners in strengthening sanctions against producers, transporters, and organizers of cigarette smuggling. And reminder, okay, just because they're in the EU and NATO does not mean they can't get invaded. Okay? Somebody can go invade them right now, today, and then the EU and Poland and everyone, right, they'll have to strategize, oh, we have to put things in the air, go, go, go. But that's not going to stop the actual invasion, right? The invasion will still happen. So they're just like, we don't even want an invasion to be possible. Okay, if you guys want to invade us by shutting down our airports, making us, ground all our vehicles or whatever, we're not going to let you. Fuck off. And get your shit in order, because they're sending the balloons from your country. But that's the story. A little shorty.
Okay, so I guess Belarus is a democracy now, right? Because they're definitely free in Russia. Is that true?
Yeah. They're a new sea of power for
I'm
democracy.
being sarcastic.
Yeah, I know.
Sure they are. I'm sure that guy in charge will put himself up for a free and fair election any day now.
I'm sure it'll happen.